Hey everybody, welcome to week number 2. We're going to take a look at the course and where we are in unit 2, what to do this week, and also how to take a look at your grades. One of the things that I promised last week is to show you how to get the feedback when you get a grade back from me. Right now you don't have any because of course everything was just due last night. But I want to show you what happens once you receive a grade in your grade book. So I'm going to do that first. And we're going to take a look. When you receive a grade in the grade book, you should open the My Grades app, the My Grades tab, and you will notice right now I have one item graded. You would know that because, of course, there's a grade over here for it. If you've turned something in and it hasn't been graded yet, you will see a symbol that shows that. But this is the sample student, and I've really only done one thing, so I wanted to show you what it looks like. You will notice that next to the percentage, you've got a little comment window, whatever you want to call it, symbol that says view feedback. Now this will give you the feedback, but I want to show you a trick that is better. Whenever you receive a grade, instead of clicking on the show feedback, if you will click on the actual link to the assignment, you will open that window to where it looks like what you turned in. So you'll see the preview. And the reason you should do it this way is that when you look at the feedback, it's only going to show you this information over here, what I've typed into the box, which is absolutely fine. And you should definitely take a look at it. But I also want you to see what your inline feedback looks like. So you'll notice over here, I just uploaded a document, an old document, just so that I could have something to show you. But you'll notice that it's highlighted and there is a little speech bubble. This gives you additional feedback. This is where I've written a note. If you notice this part, there are some things that are underlined and marked through. This one's marked through. So if there was a word or a phrase that you should just get rid of, it might be marked through like this in red. If you had some grammatical issue, you might see the squiggly red line. And then if I just wanted to emphasize something, you'll notice down here, United States is got a thick black underline under it. So if you open both, if you open the full document, you'll be able to see all of that feedback. The other thing that you should do is to review the rubric and see how you scored in each category. So as we scroll down through here, you'll notice that the first two categories are scored in the proficient area. That means you've done a good job. It's not the greatest, it's not perfect in every possible way, but that is a good score. Proficient means you've done it well. If you score in needs improvement or novice, oh, and I even forgot to even put something in for one of those. You can tell it's one of those weeks. But if you score in the needs improvement or the novice category, that's an area that you would want to work on going forward. Okay. So you can not only see my comments, but you can also see how you fared in each of the categories. And that gives you some things to target for the next assignment. Okay. So that's what those would look like. All right. So that's how you look at your own scores. Let's go to Unit 2. This week, we are starting the process of thinking about research because from here on out, we're going to be doing research writing rather than personal writing like you did in Unit 1. So we're going to be looking at how to use the library, how to locate sources in the post library, distinguishing between a reliable and an unreliable source, how to use direct quotations and in-text citations in your work. This is a super, 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 super important concept. Citing sources is probably the single hardest part of writing for college. APA formatting, getting the cover page right and all that stuff is fantastic. But the most important part of that sort of stuff is the citations themselves. All sources will have two types of citation. You'll have a references page where you have the full information of how to find the source. Most people are pretty good at that, or at least get in the ballpark. The really hard part is the in-text citation. And so we're learning about this week. So I really want you to dig into that content. Under readings and resources, you will learn about building an essay. You will read about how to, again, find those reliable sources, and especially how to use the library. And then, and this is the part I was talking about, the direct quoting and citing evidence. Now, you're going to be doing other things besides quoting directly when you incorporate research into your writing, but that's where we're starting this week. There's an activity for citing evidence, and you also, of course, have a lot of information in the APA 7th edition link over here on the far left-hand side that will help you with that as well. So please take a look at all of the resources this week. You've got a final video on using the library. Once you have looked at all of those resources, you are ready to do your 2 assignments. Another discussion board, which will have a discussion board every single week. This one is going to be about reliable sources and what makes a source reliable. So you're going to answer these questions. What do you think the biggest difference is between a reliable and an unreliable source? And why do you think reliable scholarly sources are always stressed in academic writing? You're going to respond then to 2 of your classmates. So it's a little bit different this week. Those are required this time out. So in your own post, which should be up by Wednesday, write at least a couple of strong paragraphs about academic sources and reliable sources and unreliable sources. And then you'll come back and you will respond to others. And you'll notice in the 2 responses, it says to provide an interesting, unreliable source for your classmates and or your instructor to consider. Remember that the source should still be appropriate for discussion in the classroom. So when you're responding to others, read what they wrote and then give them a source to look at and to talk about how it might be unreliable. Then you have your formal writing assignment, Unit 2's writing assignment. In this assignment, you will create 1 paragraph in which you respond to a question with a clear topic sentence, supporting sentences, and you are going to be practicing that academic voice. So writing in the 3rd person perspective. You've got an assignment sheet, which I'm going to open up here in a second. And then, of course, you should submit your completed assignment by Sunday night of next week, this coming week. Please also make sure that it is in a Word format or a PDF. It is an uploaded file and not just a paragraph that you type into the box. And of course, we have a link back here again to how to submit the assignments on Blackboard. So let's take a look at the assignment sheet. You're going to read an article. This is the citation. This is exactly the way the citation should appear on your reference page in your document. The only thing is you will not have the title of it underlined. That's underlined here because, of course, it is a link. So when I click on this, it's going to take me to the library. You're going to need to sign in order to read the assignment. I've got a lot of accounts open in various things, so mine will take a second here for me to get in. Yours should be a little bit faster. I have a lot of identities on my computer. Oh, I need to set up my okay. You guys, I'm sure, have equal numbers of here, do some security activities, so we'll just use it as a demonstration. All right, so here is where you will access the article itself. In order to read the article, all you have to do is click on the PDF full text. In order to get a full APA citation for the article, over on the right-hand column, you will notice there's a button that says Cite. All you have to do is scroll down and you'll notice this is exactly the same thing that's in the assignment sheet, although this one does not have the underline for you to take out. So you may want to copy and paste this one. When you are ready to read the article, here's where you click. You click on read this article and you will read. It's fairly short, as you can see, but you're going to be choosing a quotation from that article to include in your assignment. So let me get back to the assignment sheet. My computer is not wanting to cooperate with me today at all. Okay, let's go back. Where did it go? There we go. All right, so in the assignment sheet, you will notice that there again is the link. You're going to only write one paragraph. You only have to write one paragraph. You've got some information here. I want you to read this for yourself, so I'm not going to read it all to you, but this will walk you through some of the important things about how to make sure things are in third person and not first person. Again, using the requirements to know that your paragraph needs to be at least 7 sentences long. You need to have a quotation with an in-text citation from that article. With the in-text citation, that information is up here. This is what it will look like when you cite it in the quote, after the quote, or with the quotation, I should say. So everything that you need to know is in this document. You also, of course, again, have a copy of the rubric so that you can plan ahead and know, which parts are worth which amount of points. Once you are ready to submit that, you will click on the link and you will use the, why is this not scrolling for me today? You will use the browse local files. You will not use write submission. You want to click on browse local files. You want to choose your document. And as I mentioned last week, you will need to say, I agree to submit my papers, and then you will click submit. Okay. Then you will notice it takes you to a window that looks just like the one that I showed you when we were looking at the grades. This is what your assignment will look like, and this means you have submitted it. All right. So as usual, if you have any questions this week, please, please, please reach out. Shoot me an email, shoot me a text. Tuesday night are my office hours. If you need something, then you can always text me and we can hop in a Zoom meeting. And that is really your marching orders for this week. So again, this is probably the most important, well, they're all important, but I would say this is one of the most important lessons, simply because getting that citation piece now, it's something you're going to use several times throughout the course, but it's important to really dig into it in this first incident, because practice makes perfect, and the more you do something, the easier it becomes. So I will see you next Monday. I'm sure I will talk to you between now and then, but I hope everybody has a great Labor Day weekend, and good luck on unit number 2.